what do you think about the concept of having to share a man after you're over 35?
Okay, guys, so here is nice Kevin getting right to it. So, when women are past the wall at age 35, their options are severely limited. And so, what that means is that women more and more are going to have to resort to being okay with a man who has multiple options. Especially if they want to punch above their weight class, they're going to have to compromise on something. And this is a good place for it.
Um, it seems like it's more common nowadays. Like girls are just okay with it. But from my own perspective, if I was 35 right now, I probably wouldn't want to share a man.
Solipsism. So this girl is not 35 yet, and she believes that the gravy train will never end. She believes that she'll always have the options and the time that she has now. And so, of course, when she extrapolates into the future, she uses her current mood and her current belief set without being able to extrapolate into the future, having empathy for a different version of her who has less options. And so she says what she just said there, that of course she would never be okay with what she's currently not okay with. Hello and welcome to the Helios blog. My name is Helios, here for another reaction video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, hitting all for notifications. If you're listening on the podcast, please rate it 5 stars and give me a follow. If you'd like me to comment on a video, compilation, maybe a Reddit post, please send the link to theheliosblog@gmail.com. Let's move on.
And that's just the line.
Okay, you have any kids?
I do.
Oh my God. These girls who are single mothers and they believe that they have infinite options for marriage. Okay. Women very often conflate men wanting to have bedroom fun with you with being able to get a relationship, a long-term relationship and marriage with a guy. That you are able to sleep with a guy right away does not mean that you can get married to that same guy. And this is especially true if you're a single mother. Your likelihood of getting married again after being a single mother, or if you were never married, is extremely low. Guys, if the rating scale is out of 10, a single mother loses 5 points just by being a single mother. So let's say she's a 10 out of 10 in looks. Just by having a child, she goes to a 5 out of 10. She's merely average.
How many kids?
I have one.
How old?
He's 5.
So if you were over 35 with a 5-year-old, now you're 10 years old, and you wouldn't want to share a man, why should a man have to share his money with your kid?
Indeed. So here's the thing. Many women nowadays, what they believe is that there are rules for the other person, but not for themselves. So if they have things that lower their own value, it doesn't matter. Men should still be traditional protectors and providers for them. And they should compromise and sacrifice nothing. And it's especially true of women whose value has gone down and whose standards have gone up, that they believe that men should provide even more to them because now they're more experienced. They're a lady. They know what they want now. And of course, that is not the case. That a girl believes in her mind that she's better than she used to be doesn't mean that she actually is. In fact, the older a woman gets, the more experienced, the more baggage, the less attractive she is for men.
That's fair, to say why would he have to share it, but if he wants me, then he would have to.
No, he don't.
Okay. If you as a woman set the bar too high, you will not find any man and you'll end up alone with cats. You need to understand, women, that on average, your attractiveness is 2 points lower than you think it is. And if you have a child, your attractiveness is actually 7 points lower than you think it is. So if you think you're a 10, you're actually a 3 if you have a child. if you don't have a realistic understanding of what your level is, you can't possibly find a guy for marriage and long-term relationships and cohabitation. So here is what you need to understand. If you as a girl are a 5 out of 10, the best you can hope for is a 7 out of 10 man. You can never get a 9 or 10 out of 10 for a relationship or a long-term relationship of value. You can get them for bedroom fun maybe once, but to think that you could get a long-term relationship out of such a man is hogwash, and you'll waste your life doing it and end up alone with cats. You cannot have your standards that high. So if he wants to be with you, then he has to compromise like that. Well, no, because you are not able to dictate the terms, because you are not the, you actually are demanding a product. You are not the supplier. You are not the prize in this situation, so you cannot dictate the price.
Don't see what I mean. I'm not trying to be rude, but see, I think it's funny, especially single mothers. Y'all vastly overestimate your sexual marketplace value is lower than it was when you started.
Way lower, as I said. So in general, a girl's value is actually 2 points lower than she thinks it is. So the girl thinks she's a 10. You know, everybody tells her she's a 10. She's actually an 8. If a girl thinks she's a 7, she's actually a 5. And what that means is the man that she can realistically hope to attain is 2 points higher than her. So if she's a 5, the best she can ever hope to attain is a 7. This girl here is, you know, I don't know how old she is, but anyway, I won't estimate her value. That's up to her to do. But it's not going to be higher than a 5, certainly.
All single mothers. So let's take this out of personal. Let's say you went to a store and something cost $300, and you know you only got $200 in your pocket. Would you walk in the store and try to buy that?
No. That's
all right,
crazy,
but that's what y'all try to do in the marketplace. You're trying to get men who are like $500, and you got $250 worth of buying power.
Indeed. So that's exactly right. It's just women tend and let me explain why women have such an inflated sense of self-worth as compared to before. The reason they have such an inflated sense of self-worth is because of online dating, Instagram, and the modern womanist gynocracy that we live in. So because of Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, etc., all of these online dating platforms, plus other social media platforms, women are able to broadcast themselves to many more men than they used to be able to do. Because of that, and because male thirst is ubiquitous, these women get much more attention than average women of the past used to. And so their biology signals to them that they're very attractive. And so they act as a very attractive person acts. The only problem is, by acting that way, they are destroying any chance they have at future happiness. Because when a woman sleeps with a man who is far above her level and he doesn't commit, very often she gets alpha widowed and unable to pair bond, and she ruins all her future relationships. But also, she believes that her value is higher than it is, and she expects all future guys to be able to be at the same level as that guy or better. And this amalgam, this fusion man of all the previous partners she's had in the past, has to be beaten each time. And as the woman goes up, her value goes down just by aging, but her entitlement and needs and desires go up because her amalgam gets harder and harder to beat. And so over time, these women literally price themselves out of the market because they are selling themselves at a value that is too high for what they actually are. And so no man wants to buy.
The older you get, do you think your sexual marketplace buying power increases or decreases?
It is known. It decreases. For women. For men, if they take care of themselves and they work on themselves, it actually increases, and it can even increase up till the age of 50. But for a woman, no. 18 to 23 is when she has maximum value. Let's see what this girl down here says.
Obviously, it decreases.
All
Oh,
right,
she's
so
honest. Okay.
that means you're going to have to be able to get less, right?
For majority of women, yes.
Right. All women, not all, many, many women believe that they're the exception to the rule. They are the one that's going to beat the statistics. They're the one that's going to actually do it well. They're the one who's going to be the exception to the rule. They're the one who's going to, get the knight in shining armor, the Prince Charming. But what actually happens is invariably these women end up alone. And the reason is because, again, they're not being realistic. Now, in the past, what would happen is that the mother, the grandmother, they would tell the daughter what to do in order to not be in this position. Or, even in other societies, it was the father that chose the husband for the daughter. And this prevented this whole situation because they would choose men that were good and that wouldn't leave, right? And then social shaming kept families together, and religion. But we're past that now, right? The genie's out of the bottle.
No, for all women. What makes you special?
It's not me necessarily, but there are women that's 35 years old who can.
But see that. But what does that do? What does it have to do with you?
Now, here's the thing. Kevin's saying, what does it have to do with you? But again, this is just the... it's a logical fallacy, right? You can't say there is one exception to the statistic, therefore the statistic doesn't exist. That is not how an argument is made. Just because one or two outliers exist doesn't mean the general trend doesn't apply. The general trend applies regardless of outliers. And you are not statistically going to be the outlier, so you should not base your future happiness and future success in life on the tiniest minuscule fraction of success.
Though, that's that wanting to be right.
Well, if I want to talk about me, I feel like if I was 35 years old with a 10-year-old and I carry the way that I carry myself now, I don't think I would depreciate at all.
That you don't think you would depreciate doesn't mean you won't. There is a concept in biology, not in biology, in science in general, it's actually in physics. It's called entropy. So entropy refers to the idea that everything in life tends towards disorder. So despite our best efforts, any of us, men or women, we all break down with time. We become less. We become weaker physically. Now for men, it's not such a big deal if you become weaker physically, because as you get older, you increase in value and you increase in wisdom, and these things are attracted to women as well. But for women, if they decrease physically, that is directly correlated with their ability to have children, whereas men decrease at a much slower rate in their ability to have children, even if their body breaks down a little bit. And so, because women's value is pretty much directly tied to their ability to have children, as they get older, just due to entropy, they depreciate. Doesn't matter what your best efforts are and how much you exercise, you still, by physics, will become lower value as you age. So even if you carry yourself like a good girl, it doesn't matter. Time marches ever forward.
Oh, so you'd be the first female in history who she wouldn't depreciate as she got older? How's that happen?
For me, it's because when you don't understand, like having a kid young and doing all those things, and you start learning that stuff, basically growing, it's possible for you to still obtain a six-figure man that's making $75,000.
I don't understand. What she's saying is that she is experienced. She knows better than she used to. She has more wisdom, and therefore she'll be more attractive to men. She's actually using a male argument, which is solipsistic, by the way. She's saying that a woman is more attracted to a man as he ages and increases in value and gains in wisdom. Therefore, men will also be interested in women that gain in wisdom and life experience due to having a child young. But that is actually not true. That is not how the world works, unfortunately. And so her position is already untenable in this argument.
Year, and who can afford that lifestyle for
Okay,
you.
a six-figure man is making 100 and some odd thousand, not 75.
100. I'm sorry.
But I just okay, but older. What product on the market gains value with age and use?
Yeah, products don't gain in value through use. Some products gain in value with age, such as antiques, wine, etc. But not with use. If the wine bottle is opened, then it immediately loses its value, right? So there you go.
Wine?
Not with use.
Not with use.
Well, liquor. Anything that's how I feel. For me, like I said, for me personally.
Liquor doesn't go up in value with use either.
Mhm.
Black people used to think feelings and facts are different. And I'm gonna just tell you, I get tired of hearing Black women in particular, because you're our women. I don't care about as other women as much as I care about Black women. I get tired of hearing Black women feel like because they don't feel like or they don't like something that they can dismiss the truth of it.
That's exactly right. I said exactly this. Just because outliers exist doesn't mean the statistics are disproven. Just because you have a feeling about something and that feeling is bad. See, here's what a lot of women do. Not all women, but a lot. What they do is they are able to shield their own mind from the truth. So they go into this mental vortex, in this reality that's alternate from our own, and they live in that reality. So they say something like, I will be the exception. I am the special girl that, at 35 will still be able to find a high value man. And they truly, truly believe it. If you put a polygraph test, a lie detector test on them, they would pass. But it doesn't come to fruition because it's not actual reality. It's just how they feel. But feelings and facts are two different things. And just because you feel that the sun orbits around the earth doesn't mean it actually does. And it's important for you to understand the truth, because with the truth, you get actual good results in life.
If a non-Black woman were to say that, but you're mine, I gotta care that you don't understand that you can't just dismiss it because you don't like the way it sounds. Understand that? We got far too many women who think like you, move like you, because the way you feel, you can just dismiss it. Well then, what man who shares your reflection feels the same way, that your value goes up as you get older?
Okay, so we've already addressed this point. A woman's value does not go up as she gets older. It goes down because of entropy, and because women's value is directly related to their ability to have children. If a man gets with a woman and she can't have his children, she's automatically less valuable in his eyes from a biological standpoint. And you can't change this fact with feelings. That's why women need to be wise with the decisions when they're young, because when they're old, they're not able to fix it. Also, this girl looks sad, but you can tell, right? She knows that it's true. She just doesn't want to admit it because it'll hurt her psychological foundation in life. It will hurt her hopes for the future.
What men on the planet think that way?
They probably don't think that way. I'm not a man, so I don't know how a man...
Oh, by the way, what Kevin is getting at is this. Women actually don't get to decide women's value. The market decides women's value. So it's actually men that are choosing women for marriage and long-term relationships that get to define women's value. And men define the most attractive women as those that have low partners, who are submissive, who are bedroom fun loyal, who are cooperative and submissive. So, and childless is also assumed in this bedroom fun loyalty, right? Because if a woman has had a child with another man, she's obviously not loyal to you. She's loyal to that man.
Men don't think that way. How are you going to force a man to accept it?
I'm not going to force him to accept it.
Exactly, because it won't work. So, ma'am, your value goes down whether you like it or not. Whether you think that you'll be more valuable 5 years from now with a 10-year-old, you're still a single mother. And and what does that
So
mean?
hypothetically,
That means it's not his child. That's all that means. It's not his child. Your child is a liability to another man, not an asset.
Indeed. And in fact, as I said before, a child lowers a woman's value by 5 whole points out of 10. It's a 50% value lowerer, so it's very bad. Okay, let's go to the Reddit post. Oh! Wow! Oh no! This one actually got locked. Okay. Let me try to open another one. One sec. Oh! Okay, wait. One sec. I don't think I can talk about that. One sec. Perfect. Insecure boyfriend. Let's see what this one is about. Okay. Oh, immediately. Oh, no. Insecure boyfriend. Me, 20, female. My boyfriend, 19. That's a red flag if the girl is older. Have been in a long-distance relationship for a year now. Well, long-distance relationship is already a red flag. We live in 2 different countries. I started uni a few months ago and have been trying to find friends ever since. But I only have one true friend here so far. It gets pretty lonely, hence I've been opening up more, going to uni parties and socializing events. Red flag, it means she's actively interviewing the boyfriend for his replacement. Sorry, she's actively interviewing other men for the replacement role of her boyfriend while she has the boyfriend. This is called monkey branching, ladies and gentlemen. I have met great female and male people there. Not to the liking of my BF. He asked me to rate the guys I spoke to from 1 to 10. He asked me what they're like and compares himself to them. I tell him that he has nothing to worry about and he's the most handsome person to me. Don't worry, they're just friends. The worst thing I do is hug these guys goodbye, which is very normal and common in my country. He gets jealous. At this point, I get scared to get home from an event because I think I'll get interrogated by him on the phone once I'm home and he'll get upset. Well, of course he will, because you're showing you're a bad bet for paternity. You're actively interviewing other men to replace your current man while having that man. You think he won't get mad? I just don't want to restrict myself on females only when it's so hard to find any friends at all. So this is what women do, right? They'll create this plausible deniability and then they'll use that to cheat. Oh, he's just a friend. I just hung out at his place one-on-one because he's just a friend. We were just talking and one thing led to another. Yeah, no, guys. Like, you can't allow women to have male friends. But again, if you're in a long-distance relationship, it's not a relationship at all. End it. Move on. Block and delete the girl's number. Okay, anyway. Let's see the comments. Okay, top comment is, have you ever met this guy? Realistically, what do you expect your future to look like? This behavior is always going to exist in your relationship for as long as you're with him. So you're at the point where you either accept the fact that you're going to get constantly get into fights, or ask yourself why you're continuing to deal with him and walk away. Answer. Yes, I've met him before. Other than that, he's honestly perfect, but that behavior is very draining for me. I love him a lot, and he's so relaxed when he's with me, but when he goes back to his home, this starts again. Of course it does, because you're not being loyal, and men want loyalty. Okay, we're going to end the video there. Again, if you're liking the video, new to the channel, please leave me a sub and hit the bell for all notifications. Leave a comment, like the video. If you're listening on the podcast, give me a 5-star review, give me a follow. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Please remember to do all of the following. Like the video for the algorithm. Comment on the video. I respond to all comments and I'll give you a heart. Subscribe and hit the bell so you can see my content on your feed. Check out all of my content on other platforms. It spreads the reach of the channel. YouTube, bit.ly/heliosyoutube. Rumble, bit.ly/heliosrumble. My blog is realheliosblog.com. My podcast, bit.ly/heliospodcast. My Patreon, patreon.com/theheliosblog. You can also support the show at bit.ly/heliosdonations and buy my books at bit.ly/heliosbooks. Thank you so much for all of your support.